it consumes time and cost. In terms of resource, I will rather say cost. It's like any sort of resource. It could be your raw material, human resource, machine resource. So basically, we need to pay cost. So we actually, talk, or we can say this word rather for resources. We can say cost. So cost and time is needed, and then that is contributed, or that actually concludes to quality. And that quality is basically the quality of the product. So now the question arises, what does quality means? Is it like, somebody say like, I am having the good quality code, I am having the good quality pen, I am having the good quality phone. So what does it mean? If I am earning 10,000 rupees, so normal Nokia phone is, it's good enough for me. So that is phone, which I can use for the communication. Okay. If I'm earning more than that, so it's a normal Samsung, or it's a simple phone, I can have the smartphone. Okay. And if I'm having the good standard, or sort of say I am working in that domain that I need some sort of specific technology, so maybe I'm having using the latest branded phones. Okay. So everybody, everything is having a quality in it. So if as per my demands, my requirements, I'll find the normal Micromax, Samsung, any sort of phone, okay, the usual which you got the 2 years back, as a quality product. But if something requirement is different for me, then I will call that the recent updated telephone or something, the mobile, okay, the iPhone 11 or so that. So that is my quality. So here, quality is not about some sort of financial constraint. Means you cannot define the quality in terms of financial constraints, or how it looks like, or something like that. Quality is just confirmation of standards. If I say confirmation of standards, that means whatever. For example, I'm using a pen. So what is the requirement? That the requirement, I need to write, I need to sign my checks. Okay, I need to, write my whatever information I'm having. So the basic requirement is it should have the proper ink. It should not, spread ink over the paper. Okay, so that is the first requirement. And then, like now I have different types of pens. So it's upon, depending upon my requirements. So basically, we need to define some sort of quality. We need to put some parameters, and we need to say that, say, for example, in terms of civil engineering, say concrete, everybody has, it's like someday will construct their house. So you might have heard about the concrete. So M20 concrete, M30 concrete, there are some specifications. So M20 concrete, if I'm just specifying that my roof should have M20 grade of concrete, so that means I'm characterized the concrete, and I'm specified that the concrete in my roof should be of M20 grade. So that means I have actually initiated with some sort of standard. So what are the standards? So as per the Indian standard codes, whatsoever the ratio of their raw material, and whatsoever the guidelines which has been set by Indian standards, or the standards you are following, is part of it. So if I confirm that, so I can say that I have a quality roof. And if it does not, then the quality, so I don't have a quality roof. So that is basically the quality. So quality is basically confirmation of standards. So you define some quality, you make some standards, and you work on it, and then it contributes to quality. Okay. So when we are talking about projects, so the time, cost, and quality, these three terms you usually have in the domain of project management. Okay. And how you can have that time and cost is being consumed by the project, and quality we achieve. So there is three things on which the project is dependent: time, cost, and quality. So actually these three parameters, or these three factors, shape your project. Okay, so this is a journey from purpose to product, having time, cost, and quality. It ranges from simple to complex. For example, I've mentioned about the house, so it should not like that the project is so big like a structure or a smartphone. The project could be anything. Like as a student, you are getting your final year project. Okay, the project thesis, or you are working on your internship. So in that particular time, you do some sort of projects. That what does it mean? Basically, you are identifying some problem, then you're working on it, either getting the data or something like that, and then what you are doing, you are putting your results in it, like whatever your observation you found, so you are doing. So that is your, and you are submitting that project to your say your faculties or your the staff, okay, or your management, the college or university management. So basically you are the part of project. Every individual, those who has born and who is doing something, it's can be termed as project. Okay, so everything, for example, this say expert lecture, so it is consuming resources. Yes, of course, you are using this virtual interface, so it is consuming resources, so it is the cost. Okay, human resource involved in it is this, on this end I'm is like working, at other end you guys are listening the things, and at the third end your the organizers are doing very much on it. So basically it is consuming some cost, or you can say some resources, and it is taking time. The session has started sometime and it will end. So basically that is the time consumption. So this could be a project, you can see as it as a project, and then you can have it. So we have set some standards, like the standards could be the topic. Okay, then the audience, like which type of audience is there. So that is part of it. So the project can range from this training to a house, a multi-story building, or to the smartphone, the manufacturing of smartphone. Okay, converting that lithium which we got somewhere in South India to the the, it's like India got that lithium from South India. So that conversion from that iron, that ore, to some sort of lithium ion batteries and all that. So that is we are seeing it as a future of Indian e motors and all that. So basically that could be a project. How you will retrieve that thing from the land, how you will purify it, okay, how you will change that particular material to a valuable asset. So that is the project. So their product is basically the lithium ion batteries. Okay, that will be helpful for your say eco-friendly or say electrical vehicles, and the journey started from the demand, like sustainability or the carbon dioxide emission, global warming. So that actually causes some sort of problems. So to counter that problems, we are thinking towards electrical vehicles as a nation. And then we found that there is a problem that we don't have the lithium ion things, batteries. We need to be dependent on some other country for it. So now we've got some treasure, okay, like the resource, the lithium resource. So that could be extracted, and then it could be converted into batteries, and the things could go on. So that is, you can say, a macro or say a big project. Okay, so very soon we're gonna see the implementation also. So that is the project. It's range from simple, like we are speaking, to complex, like what the future will have. So that could be the complex things. There is one more property, and then it's that it needs planning. If you are, and it's like if you got failure in planning, so definitely you are planning for a failure. One wise man has said that. So if you don't do proper planning in it, then definitely you're gonna fail someday. So as a student, means like most of the audience is students. So students, you always think about your career profile. That's how you actually selected your branches like civil, mechanical, your electrical, communication, and all that. So you thought that you have planned that I will serve in this segment. So now you are studying your technical courses, your BTech, MTech. So now what you are doing, you are working on it. Okay, there was a plan. So for that plan, you actually thought of the things, then you come into it. Then this is the execution mode where you are getting the degree. You are learning the things. So that's how we do the things. Okay, so that is the project. I hope everything is clear to you guys. So let's discuss this thing in detail. Every project has its life cycle. It's like the project starts somewhere, then we do planning in it, then whatever we have planned, if we implement, we check after implementation that whatever we are doing is correctly being done or not. And if not, then how, or why we need to do that, and how we need to do that, and what resources will be needed. And that project actually get closed, like we stop working on it as our product is ready. So basically, say in this diagram, see here is the community. So every community is like everybody is having some sort of demands. So that cloud and the ideas things is being representing, it is representing the demand of the society area or something like that. So he is the person who actually put some technical information in it and modified the whole things, the small things into the one thing. So that person who is having the resources, who is having the capability, who is having the team, and who is having the guts to produce that product is basically known as the client in our industry, in the technical management or technical or management industry. So client is the person who is basically putting the efforts in the project, and then he is finding out, or he is allowing us to find out a solution of a problem. So basically the client is the person who identified the demand of the society, demand of the, say, some particular group, organization, and then he put some resources into it in terms of cost, in terms of the information technology, in terms of technologies, in terms of, say, some sort of other things. Okay, so that if he is able to do that, then definitely we will have shape a project, and then that project could be started as per their segments, like we did. So that project, as I have already discussed, every project requires three main things. Okay, the first one is your human resource, second is your machine resource, and third is your raw material. Human resource, whatever engineers, architects, your managers, and financial planners, all sort of persons, those are part of the project, is come under your human resource, your workers, your laborers, everybody at your project is comes under this segment, human resource. The second is machine resource. Machine resource is basically very important asset for nowadays of this era 2021, because we are now dependent on maximum types of machines, and it's not a bad dependency. If we know how to use that, then definitely it's provide us a solution. So it's for the betterment of humanity. So machine resource is really good thing. It makes our work easier and optimize our work. So optimization is basically like in limited resources you are giving the best output. So there it's machine resources is also playing an important role. For example, if we say in terms of computer science or electronics. So like artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is doing really good. Okay, when there was a situation that then where the medical staff or something, the corona thing happened, and medical staff was at risk to go to check some sort of patients, the COVID patients. So some of the countries or some of the hospitals actually allowed artificial intelligent or say robotic, nursing staff or say nursing thing that has been operated by some remote control. So at the initial phases of that pandemic, when we were not having any solution and the thing was so worst. So in that condition, the artificial intelligence is working. Okay. So we are adopting the thing or not, that is the different thing. But the thing could be used there, and it was used in many part of this world. So artificial intelligence is basically the sort of your machine and some sort of intelligence. So that is the thing. So machine resource in terms of construction, you are having the excavators, even 3D printers are there nowadays. Okay, who is having, those are having capability of printing the whole house. So that is the technology. So machine resource is basically the part of the technology. Okay, so that is a very important segment of any project in its life cycle. And the third segment and the most important segment is the raw materials. Raw materials is like, for example, if you are doing some construction, so you need some stuff, okay, whom you can integrate and form a structure. If you are manufacturing some car or developing some sort of gadget, so definitely you need some sort of resources, and then only you are able to come up with a solution or come up with the product. So basically these are the three things which have very much importance throughout the project life cycle. Okay, so it get consumed, all of three get consumed. Like human resource, so whatever time we are paying to that project, so we are also means like being consumed in it. Means like, for example, I am working for this workshop, so I have made this presentation, or I gathered some things, informations. Okay, so basically my time is being used here. So same way the human resource is doing the things, like the scientists, your engineers, your designers, okay, your quality assurance person. So everybody is busy in their own work. So basically that is the utilization of human resource. So it get consumed. Machine resource is part of it, like the artificial intelligence, the machines, like the cranes, your bus, your bike, everything. We are having machines all around us. So that is thing. And raw material is there. It's like without raw material, you can't get any sort of product. Okay, for the IT industry, your raw materials could be the information. Okay, the machine is your laptop, desktop. Human resource is the person who is making that particular app or developing the website. So here also all these three things is being consumed: the time, machine, and human resource. So that is the like three things which you always need to take care or focus when you are working on the project. So now let's discuss about how the project has its life cycle. So here you can see this cycle. So here it is like the initiation is the first phase of the project. Then you have the planning. Planning is the second stage where everything got decided with how we can go ahead on the things. Okay, what is the strategy? What concept we are using? Who is the person in charge? Who is responsible for this thing? Who is responsible for that thing? Everything. What is the budget of the project? From where we will get the funds and all that. So that is the part of your planning. Third segment is implementation. Whatever construction you are seeing on the site, okay, is basically the part of your third segment, that is implementation. Whatever we have planned as a architect, as an engineer, as a manager, whatever I am planning is being implemented by my engineers on the site. So whatever you see as a construction is itself the third part of the project. So the project, when there was a necessity of starting the thing, and the construction or implementation or production of something in the industry is basically the third part of the project. Okay, so whatever we think, like for example, say assembling of say some motorbike. So we think that the factory, like the factory or the manufacturing unit where the things are getting assembled, so we are getting the things from there. No, it's already been planned by somebody's, in somebody's head, as well as somebody's document. So that is the planning, and that is the implementation. So implementation itself is the third part of the project life cycle. So whatever we have implemented can have errors, and errors will lead us away to quality. So for that purpose, we are having one more segment of the project, that is the performance and monitoring. Whatever we have planned until now, or whatever we have planned, so is it being implemented seriously? Is there any sort of deviation which you are having from the plan? So that we calculate as an engineer, we need to calculate the things like what has been planned and how it is getting the things differently. So all that things we need to calculate. So how you can measure it, that we will just have a glance later on. Okay, and then the last segment of the project life cycle is the closing. So when you confirm that your product is having this all sort of say things, all sort of your standards, specification as you have planned, so then what you can say, you can release your resources. You provided the product, the product is got dispatched, or you handed over the keys of your construction project. So that is basically the closing. Or in the simple words, when you are submitting your BTech thesis to your the department, okay, to your professor or to your lecturer. So when you are submitting your thesis, so that is the point where you are closing your project. So it's a well documented draft which you are submitting it, okay, in terms of the project file, project report, or something like that. So it is like that. Okay, so this is the closing. So guys, let's go ahead, and we have that the first thing. So now we are discussing the things in detail. So we are having this, the first stage of your project life cycle, that is the initiation. So initiation is the place, means like, say, if let's take an example. So for example, I need to construct, or I thought that we have lack of medical colleges in Rajasthan, and we think that medical colleges or pharmacy colleges should be there, because people need to go, it's like students need to go from out of this state for studying that. So for example, if somebody thinks, say regional college, they thought that we should work in this segment also. So they are basically focusing a demand. Okay, and secondly, after getting focus, so first they need to get the things clear in their mind, that are we able to do that? Okay, and in what respect? Maybe in financial respect, but what is the financials? So you should have the budget. So do I have the budget? If I'm not having the budget, but I have a great concept, so I can take help. So that help could be in terms of the loan from some financial institution. It could be taking help from some government body, like the grants. Okay, it could be your support from your business partner in terms of shares. So that's how you do your financial planning. Okay, so this project, for example, your project, you are working on your final year thesis. So are you able, you have selected a topic, say the topic is your artificial intelligence. So firstly, you need to prepare yourself that do you have the enough capability to work on this subject? Do you have the information? Do you have the proper library or access to the virtual libraries? Are you the member of some institution which is providing the say the information on this artificial intelligence? So if you satisfied yourself first that yes, I have potential to do it, then what you can do? So firstly, you need to think about the financial aspects. So if you need to have some sort of laboratory, so if you are not having access to it, if you need something like that, so what you can do, you can discuss to your head of the department or your faculty, sir, I want to work on this project and I need some resources for it, financial resources. So maybe your college is not having that thing. Most of the colleges are very well equipped nowadays, but say if that college is not having the resources, so what your seniors can do, they can because everybody having the good contribution to other industrial or engineering institution, so maybe they can allow us to work from some other college, say MNIT, so they can send you forever to work in MNIT for a few hours or something like that. So what they are doing, they are arranging the resources for you. So that sort of collaborations are the part of the project initiation. Number one. Number two, you are giving the shape and size of the project. Like you are defining a project, like what you will do. So your topic was to work on artificial intelligence. So you need some sort of resources. So firstly, you gathered all the resources, like are you able to work on it? So if you did, so yes, then you can go to the second segment. What could be the project strategy? What is the specific topic on which I should work? Okay, and in different terms, instead of artificial intelligence, if we take some sort of other example, say normal construction of house, everybody will have someday, they will construct for themselves. Okay, so in that segment, firstly, you need to know the funds you are there. Then secondly, it will be like how I think some problem is with the screen. Okay, thank you. So secondly, it could be like instead of it's like the financial thing is over, then do you have the proper guidance to it? Do you have the architect or engineers nearby or the person who can guide you that how you can construct a house? So here you will take some sort of consultation. You need to know who will be the person who will construct your house, whatsoever the contractor is. So is the contractor capable of doing the things? So here it's like you will get advice from someone. So that advisors are basically consultant in the market. So you might have heard about this domain, that consultant. So that consultant is basically the person, those are having the information, those are having the technology, those are having the experiences, and they can guide you for your project. So there are various consultancies. So what they do? So when you go to the consultancy, they will ask your agenda, your things. Then they will give you suggestions that you should consult this person. You should take this project or not. So that sort of thing we do during the project initiation phase. Okay, and always it's advice. Okay, that do not make the decisions alone. Consult your team. Okay, because any project which is consuming the resources, so then you are responsible for the consumption of resources. So you need to actually consult your team. So that is the essence for this. And after doing with the various types of feasibility analysis, like financial feasibility, technical feasibility, and all that, okay, so after getting all these things, you actually prepare a blueprint of your project, that how you can work, what strategy you will take, not in detailed manner, but yeah, the idea, like how you will construct. So I think it's like, for your example, your how it looks like, how your home will look like. So it's a villa, it's a villa, it's a bungalow, it's a flat, or it's a small structure. So what does it is? how does it looks like? So you have set, like you will have a bungalow, so you have space for it. Okay, you have proper person to get consultations, like consultant, in terms of architect, engineers, project managers. Okay, so these could be the things. So you consulted with them, and then you finalize that, okay, in that area I will construct two-story building which is having 5 rooms, six something like 5 rooms. It is having a garden, it is having a parking space. So that sort of specification, the outer specification you have provided. So that is the part of your project initiation. So result of this thing, you got your project initiation document. So in this PID, you actually mention all the things which need to be executed, or which you have planned. So that is the thing. So that is one of the thing. Second is your very important. Every segment is important. So it is like the project planning. So how you are planning your project? Planning is always a key for a successful project. So if you're getting some sort of product, then it is basically the the, the plan which is actually working. Okay, so that's the thing. Just a sec. Yes. So at this point of your team, whatever outline which you got from the PID, the project initiation documents, in the initiation segment, you transfer to the second phase. So here you appoint some sort of your consultant, your manager, your contractor, or scientist, engineers, and it's like depending upon the various domains. So there, those are the person who is actually defining the project for you. For example, if you are taking the example of the house, construction of your house. So in that segment, it's like you have appointed architect. Okay, you have appointed a structural engineer. So he is the person who will actually say direct, means like they will design your house. Okay, they will give you the estimation of the everything. Okay, they will provide you like the things, how much raw material you will need it, when the raw material will be needed, and how the things will go on, how much time it will take. So these types of things is been carried out under this segment. So basically planning, it's itself a very vast topic. It means like it is having strategy to work on it, like how what is the strategy for working on a project. Then you have your second thing is your what are the resources which you will require, and how you can how you can grab the things, or how you can procure the things. So that is also the part of it. So your procurement strategy has been it plays very important role under this subheading, project planning. Then you also have some sort of strategy, like what is your process plan, what is your operational plan, how the things will be there. It's like for construction of your house, maybe you need 40 laborers, or maybe like you need 50 laborers, maybe you like 10 laborers, or maybe you like 100 labor, you use 100 laborers. So who will decide it? Is it like that okay, today we have 10 laborers, so come to my site and construct for me? No, it's very well managed, very well planned, very well calculated. So in this segment, you need to quantify your resources, like how much human resource you will be needed, how much your machine resource you will be needed, what is the raw material, what is the shape size of the raw material, and how it looks like, where you will place it. So all sort of planning you do throughout for the whole project. So that is basically the project planning. So it needs, in terms of civil engineering construction, it needs your architectural design, it needs your structural design, it needs your say process design, it needs your estimation, and then at the end you will be needed schedules. So scheduling is also needed. And what does scheduling means? Scheduling is basically align the all activities, all works at particular point of time. So that is the scheduling. So what work will happen after which work. So that is basically scheduling. So that you need to do under this thing, project planning. So here you will get your project plan. So it includes financial, strategic, resource, design, estimation, scheduling. So in nutshell, I'm giving you some tips. It's a very vast topic. People do PhDs in it. So we can't discuss the whole thing, but few things in it so that you can able to understand the industry, that how actually work happens. And then you will be able to, as a student, you will be able to understand that in which segment you need to go and what are the things you need, to upgrade yourself so that you can get proper placement, because things are very complex nowadays. So that could be the thing. So actually you should divide your whole project in different segments. Okay, and you should become very smart during the planning. And what does smart means here? It's like specific. You should define your goals and limit it with some sort of time. So your thing should be very specific. Like for example, if you went to get something, if you went for some food store, say on McDonald's, and you say to the person, when you are putting the order, you said, sir, I need something to eat. You have money? Yes, I have money. I need something to eat. That is the first case. And second person, he just came and he said, I need a coffee and a burger. So see, both the purpose, both are feeling hungry, both are having money, but the first is not specific, second is specific. So what the person on the till, what he will do, he will just order it, and in few minutes he will get his order. But the first person, though he is having all the things and resources with him, but still what he can do, it's like, okay, what should I do? Let me think. So that is not the way you do the planning. So you should be very specific. What sort of Indian standard codes you need to follow during your product design? Okay, what is the ISO number? What is the Indian standard, or say so some sort of quality standards you are following, ISO or IS, BS, British standards, American standards, whatever standards you are following. So you should be very specific. Okay, so that is the part of the S in smartness. Measurable is the second point. Measurable, it's like, when you say, like, you will, say, for example, you will do your literature review during your final year project. So that literature review, it should be measurable. It should not like that literature review is going on forever and you are not able to submit anything when your faculty is asking. So literature review is subjected to few papers, like 5-6 few good papers, or a book, or some sort of resources which has been advised by your guide. So the things are measurable. On the behalf of that, your guide can assess you, like whatever you are getting is within the scope or not. So the things could be measurable. It should not like that I will do good work. And what is this explanation of good? Let me think. So that's not the plan. In plan, you need to put the things in very measured way. Okay, it's like I'm going from Jaipur to Ajmer, so it's 130 kilometers of drive. Okay, so yes, if I'm using my electrical scooter, so that is not having the limit of running for 120 kilometers. But if I am using my petrol car, so yes, it could be. So how much liter of petrol I will be needed for it, so that I can measure. Then only I can say that yes, I will reach Ajmer at right particular time, or whatever defined time it is. The things will be attainable. It should not like that, okay, I'll construct my house in one day. No, that's not. because you need to provide curing at least for 15 days. So you can't construct the whole house in single day until and unless you are using some sort of precast technology. Okay, so the things could be the attainable.
Okay.
The things could be relevant also. Okay, relevant is like whatever you are saying, whatever you are speaking is basically relevant to your project. That is the thing. For example, say in India, we are not having the polymer concreting. Okay, that is not the major focus in this industry. But they are having, in America, they are using some sort of polymer concreting. They are having proper codes on it. We have a simple special edition Indian standard code on the polymer concrete. But there in America, they are having the proper standard codes for polymer concreting. So if you are designing your structure in India, okay, so you cannot follow, it's like you cannot put as per the American standard code. No, you have to follow the Indian standards because you are working in Indian conditions. So you need to opt for the normal concrete. Okay, you might use PPC in it if you want to go, but use the sustainability in it. Okay, but you can't go for the polymeric thing because this is not very well adopted in India. Some people are doing work on it, but that is not like widely we are not using it. So you need to refer as per the Indian standard thing. So whatever you are designing, whatever you are implementing, whatever you are planning, it should be relevant. It should be relevant to your project. It should be relevant to your say the things where you need to do the things. Okay, so it should be like that. Yeah, it should be like that. I'm getting a call from the organizers. Just a sec, guys. So that is being smart here. Okay, and the next thing, it would be your implementation phase. So implementation phase is nothing. It's like whatever you have planned is been constructed, or it's been implemented, or it's been produced. So whatever you are doing on say in your factory, or whatever you are doing the things as per the plan, that is basically the implementation or execution. So this is the thing which we need to discuss. So in the implementation phase, this is the usual construction, the usual production, usual things which you see in the broad way. So basically that is this third stage. Okay, and here we have, you can say, the collaborative teamwork, proper utilization of resources, and the proper policy to be followed. So that could be the things which we need to implement here. Okay, and what we need to do is we need to ensure that whatever budget we have provided, we are getting the things like that, and whatever things you are having is like your team, your resources, your everything, your process, your client. So you are fulfilling all the standards. So that is also the part of this phase, the implementation. So this is the thing which we need to discuss in detail. If we are talking, for example, whatever you see, for example, this photograph depicts the thing. Okay, it's like the person who's in charge, who's the engineer, he's having some sort of schedule. So according to schedule, he's making sure that the activities or the construction or the process is being done. It's being going on. Okay, so that is the thing, that is your execution stage. So here you need to make sure of various things like your supply chain, your your health and safety. Here, for example, if you are working in some sort of say industry, you are working for some sort of say factory. So in that, are you getting the raw materials properly? Is your raw material placed well. Okay, so that sort of thing we usually have, okay, at this stage of time. Okay, so that we need to, think here in this segment. So means like here all sort of things, the risk basically comes here, like if your human resources working, so he should not get affected negatively by some sort of activity. Okay, you are fulfilling all the social standards, all sort of the law based standards, all sort of the demands is being fulfilled. So that is basically the part of it. Okay, so implementation execution, so whatever thing you are basically doing in on field, in terms of your, if it is not engineering, civil engineering, then your production, and if it is the civil engineering, then whatever you are seeing on your site. If you are constructing your own house, so the point where when your technical staff, your contractor reaches your site and they start working on it, so that is the point where your execution or implementation starts. Okay, so then excavation, then putting a foundation, so that is basically say part of the activities, various activities for this process. So here it's like a very well planned, your document, it should be there, that we call as detailed project report, DPR. Okay, so DPR should be there. So it is like Bible for us as an engineer. So we need to follow, as a civil engineer, we need to follow your DPR, whatever it says, we need to do it, because whatever we are doing, we are just transferring the plan into the land on the site. We are just transferring the things. We are not doing something extra or something new. Whatever we are doing, it's already been planned by the experts, and we are just making sure that whatever they have planned, it should come into the existence. Okay, and for that we have some sort of the specialized persons, that is the contractor or the subcontractors. Okay, the contractor is the person who takes your contract, or who is the person who is enough capable of integrating all your resources on the site, and then he's actually doing construction for you. And as an engineer, you need to guide him, you need to check the things. Okay, you need to make sure of all things. So you are the leader, but he's the person who is doing the things, and his staff is doing the things. So we have labor, we have the consultancy staff. So that consultancy staff is basically guiding them, and the labor is being they are actually working under the flag of the contractor. So these are the things which usually you have. So whenever you will graduate or you will join this industry, firstly you will reach in the third stage of the project. That is your site, that is your office, that could be your factory. If you're a mechanical engineer, so you might be placed in some factory there. You will see production of the things, that you will find the raw material and all that. If you are a, say, computer science engineer, so it could be your office, where you have your cubicle, and there you are working on some projects on the basis of information. So raw material could be your information, and you could be the part of some project. Okay, so that is basically the implementation. So that strategy is already been done by the designers. I'll say designers. Every segment we have designers. The designer is the person, those are providing the policies, like those are making the policies, and means like that has been implemented by the engineers or the technocrats on the field. So that is the thing. So this is the place where you spend most of your time. Okay, most of your time. So if I say that the construction of bridge has took 3 years to means like, or say 2 years for the construction, so that is only the third stage of the project. That planning is like the project of that bridge might be started 1 year before that, before then the day when the construction started. So what they are doing before that, maybe they are getting the data, like the study of the road, like what is the total say total load on the road, do we need a diversion, a bridge, or what it is. So then they will come up with the strategy that no, so we need to have a flyover, not the bridge, the flyover. We need to have a flyover. So in that segment, so the point when they come to know that they will have a flyover and it should have a span of, to serve that much of kilometers or something like that, that much have the span, and it will be serving, say, 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers, whatever is the specifications. So that is the part of the first segment, project initiation. Then, the engineers got appointed, architect got appointed, the consultant got appointed, and then they provided the proper shaped size per and all sort of sections there. It's the part of that. So that is the planning. And when your team actually comes to that site and that clears all the space, and then they started marking on it, and then they started digging the land, or they started the excavation, then your raw materials got acquired, procured on the site. There is a team of human resource, there is a team of laborers, the subcontractors, they actually come on the site and they started doing the work. There is a proper space for sitting for the technocrats, like the manager, engineers, or architects, if they are visiting it. There is a proper dress code. So we don't have the dress code, we have the requirements. So the requirements is like personal protective equipments. Okay, so personal protective equipments is needed when you are working on site. Same way, when you are working in factory, you should have the safety boots, or the various things. So that is the part of your say this particular process execution. So as an engineer, you need to make sure of various things, of various aspects. Okay, here one more thing which is very much important and where you need to do focus is basically your communication. Whatever you are planning, whatever things you are say implementing, whatever instruction you are getting from your say senior authorities, you need to implement it. You are the person who is responsible for the implementation. So there, if something changed during the communication, like your manager said that you need to work say 90% for 3 hours, and then that has been transferred to your assistant manager. So assistant manager has said that okay, you have to work for 90%. Then your team lead, then the information reaches you. In between, in these particular it's like in this different verticals, if that 90 turned into 85 or 100 or 70, so definitely it will impact on your project. So that's why communication is very much important in your industry. And in mechanical industry, in computer science, basically you have similar type of uh, human resource working together. So there the things are not so typical. But in terms of construction, in terms of civil industry, we have the variety on our side. Okay, maybe the engineer is from South India, maybe the engineer is from Maharashtra, Rajasthan, and the contractor is from the local one. For example, we are executing that project in say Japan only, say. So the contractor is the Rajasthani, and the labor is from Bihar, labor is from Uttar Pradesh. So now the difference is, because of the diversity, you are having the language barriers on your side. So if the say some sort of engineer or the manager he's using English or Hindi, so that has been communicated properly. So the language of instruction, the technical instruction is English. Okay, that we as a because most of us has done their degree in English. Okay, so it's like the channel is English, but when you are talking to the your contractor, some of them are comfortable with English, or some of them are not. Then if you are talking to your, then maybe you can take the, you can use your language Hindi, and then uh, you can pass on the instruction to the contractor. But when you need to further transfer that information to your laborers, then the problem creates, it's like the problem happens, problem occurs. And the problem is like they are not able to understand Hindi, they are only communicating in their local language. Okay, so in that situation, again you need to come up with the solution, like you ask your contractor to propagate your thoughts or instruction to them, and maybe he is able to do it and maybe he is not. So the risk always stays there. So in that segment, what you can do in that segment, you can use signage. Okay, danger means danger, that is for English, Hindi, any sort of language. This danger is basically the same, the red color or the cross sign with having a head on it, skull on it. So that is danger. So if that has been put on any sort of drum, so that actually indicates that this drum is having some sort of chemical or some dangerous thing. So you should keep a distance from it, or you should not uh, touch it or use it without proper guidance, without so that is the thing. So signage plays very important role. And maybe most of the audience is from Jaipur, so it's like you might have seen the various signage when we have the Jaipur metro project going on in the city. So there you might have seen various colors of helmets, so they are actually providing the informations on the streets. Okay, so there it was mentioned that you should follow, you should have helmets and all that. So that is not just for the people those are working inside the project, it is for the others also, so that they can recognize that that person is working on that project. And if he is somewhere around you, so maybe some part of the project is being going on around you, so you should get attention. Okay, and you should, means like you can be more attentive, and you can just get your safety. You can think about your safety, like construction is going on, you are not the person who is aware of the things. Maybe some reinforcement or maybe something fails, and it you can get affect, some accidents can took place. So basically in that segment you also get some sort of alert, or you get aware of the things. So that is the thing. So helmet is safety for, just for the safety for the individual those are working on it, as well as for the information, like something is going on. So it could be the signage. Proper posters should be placed uh, or at your sites. Okay, in many factories you will have seen the many posters. Okay, that where is your chemicals has been kept, so you should not enter, or something like that. So that actually helps people to get the quality work. Okay, so that sort of thing we actually do here in execution. Every, means like in this segment you can utilize your maximum, say energy on working on many things. Okay, so that could be the things. Here we have the next domain, next segment of your project life cycle, that is your performance and monitoring. What does performance and monitoring means? Whatever we have planned during in the second phase of the construction is need to be implemented in the third phase. Okay, or the second phase of the project, I'll say, is need to be implemented in the third phase. So that third phase is your implementation phase. Okay, and is the thing whatever you have is like whatever you are doing, whatever you are following, is being done correctly or not? So that is a segment of the project life cycle which actually takes care of these things. Okay, so the performance and monitoring thing. So every sort, so the principle is whatever has been planned is equal to the actual or not. So as I've told you during the planning that you need to be smart. So you should have some sort of measuring standards, like how you can measure the process, how you can measure your things, okay, or whatever thing is going on, it's in right direction or not. So so in that way, it's like we have schedules, okay. Schedule actually says that whatever, say for example, we take this example of the house which we are using from a long time. So we have decided that I am having different milestones, that there are certain points on the project that will indicate, like the first thing is when my foundation is ready. So that is my first milestone. So it's like in terms of payment to the contractor. So the first payment I will do when your your foundation is ready at your site. Okay, so uh, we have planned, say, just a sec. Say we have planned something 7 days, okay, for reaching that position. So in 7 days, we think that, or sorry, in 7 weeks, so that has been depicted in week numbers. So in 7 weeks, we will complete with our foundations of our structure. So if it is been planned in such a way that it should consume only 7 weeks, so if we think like that plan is being done in, say, 2019, okay, you are planning that in 2019, and now you have initiated your project on, say, 1st of Jan, okay, or say 10th of Jan. So you have initiated your project. So you think like the it's like not because we don't have 26 weeks. So say that project has been planned in 2017 and the implementation take place on 2018 in 2018. So here you have planned for 7 weeks only, but it took basically more than it. So you are having delay in your project. So the foundation need to be completed by, say after 7 weeks. So but it was not like that. So when the day occurs, it was having some delay in it. So that means you are having delay. So you are like you are behind your project. Okay, so that's how you measure. Your second milestone was when your say when your walls are ready, then is your second milestone. So all walls are ready, then you need to place, say, roof on it, or say the slab on it. So that is your second milestone, you thought. So in that thing, you have planned that it will take around 15 weeks to complete up all my columns and walls, so that we can we actually comes into the state where we can place our slab or the roof over it. So in that segment you have planned for 15 weeks, but due to the circumstances, you all means like you completed that thing in only 14 days, 14 weeks, sorry, only 14 weeks. So that means you are 1 week ahead of your project. Okay, so when we are discussing about the first condition, our first milestone, when your foundation is need to be done. So the foundation work completed with delay, but your second milestone, the wall segment, actually just completed before that time. Usually it does not happen in industry, in accepting some of the project, but it is a matter to be discussed. So for example, you are completed your wall and the things, so you are ready for the say placing the roof on it. So this is basically for say that has been done 1 week before. So you are ahead of the project. So there you are having 1 week. So 1 week you are ahead. So you can slow down your project, or if something, not you need to slow down your project, but if you are using some sort of resource more rapidly, so there then you can release, or you can provide some sort of say, for example, your engineer wants to go for a leave, something like that. So you have a window because you are ahead of the project. So maybe you can allow him. So that sort of things. I'm just, giving the very normal or usual examples. See, milestone 3 was when all, my roofs and uh, stuff, the structural stuff is ready, and I need to, start with my finishing work, the plaster and finishing work. So this was my third milestone. So this is the point where I will, pay to my contractor a good amount. So here the light blue is basically the planned line in this, graph, and the dark line is your actual line. So in third milestone, it is like your planned was 20 days and you achieved in 20 weeks, and you achieved that thing milestone in 21 weeks. So that means again you are behind the schedule for 1 week. Okay. Uh, I was not having such a nice say background for this graph, but thank you for it. And so no, I don't like this color. Thank you. So okay, so the last was our fourth milestone. So fourth milestone is, it was a time when 26 weeks has completed. So 26 week, on the 26th week, I was supposed to get all the things done, and the contractor should hand it over. It's like the contractor should hand overs me the project, and I can plan my, the house opening ceremony, Grah Pravesh I can plan. So on 26th week, completion of 26th week, yes, I was planned to get the work done after 26 week, and actually it got, completed by this week. So when actual and plan is equal, that means you are following your schedule properly. So in that segment, basically, see, you are having the ups and downs. So here you are having the differences. Sometimes you are ahead of the project, sometimes you are ahead of the schedule, sometimes you are behind the schedule. End of the day, due to the combined efforts, here cost, quality, time, resources, everything comes into the picture. That is the implementation phase, fourth phase, and that comes to the end, and things are on time. So that is your basically plan versus actual of your project. So not only for construction, for every segment, like it's a IT, it's telecommunication, it's mechanical, or any sort of project, we have this tool. So that we can calculate the things, or we can work on the things, and we can get the differences. And here are the points where we are defining. Here are the points. So if we are ahead or if we are behind, 99% people actually got behind of it. Okay, so that sort of result they have. So in that segment, your organization should basically discuss the things with the team and come up with some sort of solution, so that you can uh, get on the track again. Okay, so that sort of solution is like, maybe because maybe you think that this work is not able to done by 4 workers, I think I'll put one more worker to it. So it's like, instead of 4, 5 workers are working that thing. So you actually worked on the human resource, and you have say increased the human resource. So that's how you got to meet the project deadline. So here, when the things are different, so you might take some sort of decision, and then you got the project done at the time. So there you need to take that sort of decision. So that is the calculation among plan versus actual. There is one more thing which we take cares here in this performance and monitoring segment. is your quality assurance. Quality assurance is like a topic in which you basically assuring the quality of your structure. So now the things is like how one can assure with the quality. Like I'm saying, yes, this project is having the good quality. So does it make sense? Like yeah, definitely it is having the good quality. Is it? Is it like that? No. So the quality assurance is basically the calculations, some sort of mathematics, bit of physics, bit of technology, so that you can measure the things, that the things is going in the right direction or not. Okay, and you take some sort of preventive measure so that you can assure the quality of your product. Okay, like the first phone, iPhone, I don't know what it was, the Apple product. It was having the proper uh, sharp edges, or say proper 90-degree edges. That story which we heard from very motivational speakers, because they want Apple to be the the iPhone, I think. So that to be the status of quality, or they need to set some sort of standards like that. The manufacturers or the founding members of that team. So here, of course, we need to every project should have some sort of quality standards. So how you can maintain the quality throughout the project? It's like the first thing, you can work on your human resource. So you should be very sure that whomsoever is appointed on your project is having the proper information, proper experience, and he is able to do the things in correct manner. So it does not mean that only experienced person can be put on the project. It's like, what is the demand of that particular position? So because you can ask, sir, what about the freshers? So I'm not taking that things in that dimension. It is like that the person, if you are a fresher, then you will be dealing with the very basic things that you have studied in your curriculum, in your college, and the experiments you might have did in your laboratories. So basically you are having bit of experience, theoretical experience, or bit exposure or something like that. So that is the part of it. Here I am talking about the confirmation of thing that your operator, your appointed human resource, or your team is able to work on the specified task. If it is like that, so in that situation, you could be assured that whatever work he is doing, he will do correctly. And if he is not doing correctly, we will provide them information, we will guide them. Okay, we will have consultants. So after proper guidance, the person is able to do the work properly. So that's how you can think about the human resource. Second segment is your raw materials. So raw materials, it's like you can do various types of quality control test. Okay, the quality control test is being done on various types of raw materials. For example, you are having say reinforcement is the raw material for your building. So how you need to check the thing is correct or not? So in that you get the ISI mark, and as well as the code, the confirming code, that ISO so and so, or something confirming that the standards IS so and so. So that means that is the certification that is being provided by the company. So company is assuring the quality of the product. So that could be the thing. For example, you are using the Tata Steel. So of course, on every bar of that steel bar for the reinforcement, you will find some sort of some say ISI mark, some sort of the codes should be written in their codes. Okay, and even you can ask for their technical sheet. So technical sheet can provide you all the information regarding the strength, the ductility, and all sort of things that is available. So every company is having the technical sheet. Every company, every product is having the technical sheet. Like the Indian government asked everybody to show, every company to show whether this product is made from made in India or not. So that is, the strict part of that only. So if you ask for the technical sheet, so you will get to know about where it is being manufactured, where it has been, installed, and what is the proper things being used. So every company should have this. That is the law, and if you are aware, you can ask for it. Okay, so if you are taking use of any sort of material, you can ask for it. And so that is the segment for your quality control. Now the second product would be the sand. So like the sand, the normal sand for the construction, so is it having the proper standards or not? So you might have various tests on it that you can do on the site, like silt test. Okay, and there are various ones. So that's how you can take few samples among the trolley or the raw material cart, and then you can test. So usually people are having, usually good projects are having the separate or a specific testing lab uh, nearby the site office. So there they also test the raw materials. Same way it happens in metallurgical or all sort of mechanical industries. So any sort of raw material they are using, so they are basically testing it first and then they are implementing it. Any sort of manufacturing, either it is your telecommunication segment or anything. So firstly they will check, and then they will put that material or in whatever the machine unit or assembling unit they are using. So that is the quality control. So if you find something wrong, then definitely you can cancel that lot and you can order it again. Okay, because if you are using the wrong raw material, so definitely it will contribute to something negative in your overall product. So that's how you do quality control. And your reports, quality control reports, is basically the part of your quality assurance. So your client got assured that I am getting the things, a quality product. I'm approaching towards the quality product. So how your site engineer or site manager will sell the things on the behalf of their quality control reports. Okay, sir, we have used raw material proper. We have used my say technical staff or human resource properly, and even we are using our machine resource. Okay, so whomsoever is the operator or contractor or the technology you are using, if your technology is automated or say your anything, you have manual machines in your factory, or it is automatic machines or something more advanced level of that. So that actually depends the nature of, that's how you can get the quality standards in your product. Okay, so that is the second thing. So in this segment, performance and monitoring, you actually monitor the things, like whatever has been planned has been going on properly or not. And always also you actually work on the performance of your human resource, your machine, or how your raw material is acting when you used it for some say for some product. So that could be the thing. So for measuring this thing, we have some sort of technique, or as a manager or as a technocrat, you need to understand that the thing is known as KPI, that is key performance indicators. So you can define various KPIs, like for a student, his KPIs could be his marks in his academic subjects, his marks in his practical subjects, his marks in his communication. So these are the three KPIs which you can learn. Like the first one, whatever the theoretical subject you are having academic, so whatever you are getting marks in terms of your mark sheet. Okay, in mark sheet. So basically, it's a key performance indicator of your academic learning. Okay, whatever you are getting from your laboratory marks, so that is your practical learning. So you are your performance in your lab. So that is the marks which you got from the laboratory. Third is your professional thing, like your communication, your ethics, your how you are interacting with your. So there are life skills. So you have, I think, you guys have some marks of some. There is some 50 something marks you guys have for. I forgot the name. It's long back. So, but you have some 50 marks for your interpersonal skills and your behavior in the engineering domain. So that is basically the performance indicator, okay, or performance measure in terms of your ethics, your work, your personality. So basically, these are the three key performance indicator which you usually have in your mark sheets during your curriculum, during your BTech degree or MTech degree or any sort of education system. So here in the projects, usually we have some KPIs. The first is effort and cost tracking. So it determines the budget is on track or not. So whatever budget constraint you put, it is there as per the plan or not. So that is the first thing. Project performance, that actually monitors the unforeseen changes or unforeseen challenges, okay, or unforeseen circumstances that actually occurring during the execution of the work, because you plan. So I might have planned the whole thing in Jan, and the work is going on in June. So Jan, it's a winter, so atmospheric conditions were different, and in June it's a hot summer. So the conditions could be different. So the chances could be different. The performance can be altered or could be done in terms of environment, and there are various forces which can alter your performance indications. So project performance is basically monitoring the unforeseen challenges and how you are taking the actions, because the site engineer or the engineers on the field, production engineers, what is their role? So first they need to monitor, and secondly they need to take instant actions if the project is demanding. So they are the person who will guide the contractors or the machine or the artificial intelligence, that how the things should go on. Okay, so you need to take decisions. As an engineer, we need to take decisions. So that also the part of the project performances. Quality deliverables is like if certain task deliverables have been fulfilled or not. Certain task deliverables means like, for example, you are doing plastering or you are doing, say, finishing work. So is your wall looks, fresh and shiny or not, or something like that. So any sort of task dependent quality or characteristics, if you need that, so that comes under this quality deliverables. For example, if you are working on some hotel project, okay, so the voice from one room should not go to another one, should not disturb just because of the privacy. If you are working on some sort of college or hostel, say college project, okay, so one classroom, for example, the classroom A is having the class of, say, engineering mathematics. So whatever the professor is saying, it should reach to the person sitting at the last in the class, but it should not reach to the the, the class next to it, which is say maybe that's going on for say artificial intelligence, okay, or say the geotechnical engineering. So that means the separation of the wall is having, like separation of the walls which we are having, it should have some certain acoustics related characteristics. So that is basically the quality deliverables. So that the noise cannot travel or the voice cannot travel from one point to another. Okay, so that is the example of the quality deliverables. There are project objectives, that could be another KPI. It is like whatever goal you have made, whatever goal you have planned, so have you achieved it or not? And if you achieved it, what are the challenges you got? Okay, and if you got some challenges, have you got the solution for it? Is that solution is efficient? So that basically the part of this project objectives. So in terms of percentage, in terms of rating system, in terms of the marks, we usually work on that. So basically it's a checklist sort of thing. So it was planned like the milestone should be there in 7 weeks, but it happened in 10 weeks. So in that checklist or in that column based thing, so you actually put the planned versus actual. It was planned for 15 weeks, but it happens in 14 weeks. So what is the difference among the two? The difference of 1 week. So 7 days you are ahead of your project. So that is basically you do under this segment. And if you do all the things correctly in under this segment, so that means you are delivering a good project. And at the end of the day, and at the end of the project, you will be delivering a quality product. Maybe it's your iPhone or maybe it's your home. It is, it will be standard of the quality. Okay, so these segment, so here we have various positions. As a fresher, if you will join, then maybe you can work on QA, QC, that is the quality assurance and quality control segment. Every project has, even every domain has this segment. IT, CS, civil, mechanical, EAC, everything is having, every project is having that segment, performance and monitoring. So there, quality assurance and quality control, it's itself a very big science. So like you can get a good career in it also. Okay, so that is the thing. So but you need to know how to measure the things. We have very good softwares, that is the part of industries nowadays. And then after this corona thing, when the resources are limited and project need to be, the production need to be at a good state, it should be, production should be high with good quality standards, because every industry got a halt or of around 10 months in 2019. So every industry will think to recover the loss. So in that situation, it's like everybody should get some sort of technically equipped engineer. Okay, so in terms of civil, in terms of IT, in terms of any sort of branch, okay, you must know the softwares specific to your branch. So, and project management is the common among all. So you can have the information of how you can use, or you should have the operational training or something like that on the project management softwares, okay, for a better career. So let's move towards the final stage of the project life cycle. Okay, on the final stage. So the final stage of a project life cycle is basically your project closure. What does it means? Project closure is the process when you have done with all of your things like quality control, your execution, everything is been done. Okay, your product is ready to be dispatched, I'll say. In factory, your iPhone is ready. It has been packed in the boxes. It is having the good good covering to it. It's got the lamination or the proper things in it. Okay, the properly everything is being implemented. That's what you suppose. Okay, and this is the time where you will pack that stuff in some boxes and you will transfer it to the stores, the Apple stores. There the people can use it, people can buy it. So that is ready for the production in small terms. So basically that is stage. So before you allow your product to be used by the industry or the occupants or by the society, so you need to do some sort of technical things, technical checks or something like that. Okay, whatever checks you did in your QA QC segment or say monitoring segment is basically done, means like the things are on the process that time. So you just work so that it should not have any sort of failure. Okay, later on, so you did it. But here it's like your product is ready. So in whole soul, you should not have any sort of problem. So what you have a punch list, or you can say a list. So there you should just need to check the things. For example, if you're constructing your home, so if your home is ready, so for your home, it's like it should be like all sort of walls, and the painting has been done on all walls, and say walls or in the interior and exterior, everything has been done. Every sort of electrical sockets has been installed properly. You just check, you said yes, okay, yes, tick 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 tick. You have the proper flow in your washrooms, water flow in your washroom, tick tick tick. Okay, so that's how you are actually punching the things, and you are making sure that whatever you have planned is being implemented properly. So that's how this process starts. So it is like you hand over the project to the client. So from the client side, people come and do inspections that everything has been done. And if it has been done, then definitely you will close all of your say contracts, like your supplier is providing the raw material or something like that. So you complete your documents, and transfer documents from site to your offices, your company office. You terminate all the contracts. So you actually tell your vendors like, okay, our project is done and we need not any sort of raw material for this project. Okay, so that is the project closure, and you will release your resources, like all sort of the people is been released. Okay, all sort of machine got unassembled, and then it's transferred to their contractors. So that is basically the project closure in terms of civil engineering. And you finally give the keys to the client. So that is in terms of civil engineering. And for the others, for the manufacturing and other things, you like for the IT and CSIT guys, it's like I have downloaded the software, and you finally, after paying the whatever amount you charge, you are providing me the keys, the software key that is valid for 1 year. Okay, the license key you will say. So when you will provide the license key to your clients, that means you actually close the project. So whatever things you have, it's like whatever things you opt for getting your product done, and then that is being provided to your client. So that is your project closure. In terms of mechanical, in terms of production, it's like when your product is ready to be say ready to be sold in the market, or when your say specific markets, your product got reached the markets and that is ready to sell. So that is the project closure for it. So in whole soul, in that segment, actually you need to put your learnings with you. That means what was the challenges you got during the project, what was planned, what you did, and you think like, okay, we have did this thing, but maybe we can use this thing, so that may cause the better result. So that suggestions you can write. So whatever your learning is there, so that you can write in the well documented report, a draft, and then you can submit it to your say your company or your organization or your thing, so that if next person is working on the same project or similar project, so then he can just get a review of your closure draft, and then he should not do the same mistakes which you did, or maybe your suggestions can help him to get more quality product. So that is the project. So guys, this is the whole project life cycle. So after you will graduate as an engineer, so you wanna serve under one of this heading. Okay, you will be responsible with some sort of your job responsibilities among one of this segment. Okay, so it's like in initiation, you could be there for the feasibility assessment. And implementation and planning, you could be act as the planner, estimator, your designer, your supply chain manager, everything. Okay, planner is that. In execution, you can act as a, the engineer, the guide for the thing, or the person who is able to take decisions. So that is like the position of site engineer or production engineer in the things, or the developer in terms of ITCS. Then you have one more segment, that is QA QC. So even the post is common for all the departments, that is your quality assurance engineer or quality control engineer. So that is in terms of every segment. In gaming and developing some software, you are having a QA QC. In production, you are having QA QC. In civil, you are having QA QC. So that is also the part of it. And with the project closure will come with various documentation work. In civil, it is more because you need to release the resources, but all segments should have, all sort of departments should have the same pattern. So whatever learnings those have been got from the project, that has been used, that documented, so that either you can publish it for your case studies on your websites, or maybe your say something else, okay, for your future references. So that is basically your project life cycle. So that's if somebody is saying I'm working on the project. So basically these are like that. Okay, so now the second topic has started, and that topic is your project management. Okay, so after doing that much of study, then you are able to understand what does project management means, and how the planning and project management industry got affected by COVID thing, and how it could be I think so. So don't think we will take more of your time. So in this segment, because now you are able to understand various things. So this segment is not so big. I hope the things you are getting also. So when this term project management comes to your mind, the whole project life cycles first, you can see that. I can see in front of my eyes. Like what are the things, what are how we will do it. So that is the part of the project life cycle. So project is a demand, fulfilling some resources, having some sort of human resource, and then at the end you are having the project, and that project should be handed over to your client or your customer or your user. Okay, so that could be the thing. But now the industry is seeking the project management professionals, the persons that could be the ones who is having the information about the whole things, and they can take control of the project. They can help the authorities to produce good quality product. So that is the domain project management. Here the things arises, because in the project you need to do planning, you need to do risk assessment, you need to do control, teamwork, you need to deal with the say resources, cost. You will have some sort of problems, you need to solve it, you need to do checklisting, everything you need to do. Communications, that is the part of it. So so here we need the all-rounders. So what sort of positions we have as an engineer to work in industry? So the project positions are like project coordinator, project planner, okay, project coordinator, your project engineer. Okay, so these are the lines, means these are the domains where the people are working nowadays. Technocrats are needed for it, and they are working with a good thing, okay, good condition. So there is some sort of highlights of the project management. So risk assessment and management. What are the various risks you have in your say project? So that you need to know, you need to assess, you need to find, assess, and then you need to manage that thing. Okay. Then you have supply chain management. So whatever human resource you will need it, whatever the thing is doing, this is part of it. Uh, Mr. Chiranjit Lal is helping me a lot for highlighting the things by the blue lines. So thank you, Mr. Chiranjit Lal, and I think we should go ahead. If you can erase the things, then that will be good for me and the other persons also. Thank you. Yes. So the risk assessment and management is basically the very important topic. It's basically you are finding that what are the threats in the project, what are the risks, and then you are managing it. Supply chain management, it's like how you will procuring your material, how your things are being being implemented on the project and all that. Health and safety is like how your health of your employee matters on the place where production is going on, construction is going on, your project is implemented. Okay, health is safety. Our work should not affect the safety of the individuals those are working on it. And environment conditions, so how you are contributing towards the environment, seems like you are negatively contributing or positively contributing. So that could be the thing. Okay, and then you have your flow of information, project management information systems, like what sort of information system you are having here. It's more about softwares, what softwares you are using, your effective scheduling, what does scheduling mean, how we can do it, how you put the things all together, and your project sustainability. Sustainability is basically the outcome of social, environment, and economical results. Okay, so it's basically, so sustainable does not means only the environmental thing. It's more about, so if you draw the Venn diagram, so you will, when you will get the it's like sustainability union, say your social union, your financial, so economic say. So if you got that segment, that is basically your sustainability. So all three aspects of the project has been highlighted. So if that satisfies the thing, then only it's like project sustainability. So these are the various highlights of the project management. So we will uh, put some sort of focus on the one of them, on the most important things among it. So risk is the most important topic nowadays. In post-COVID situation, what actually happened in post-COVID situation? Sure. In what happened in Corona? What happened in COVID? We all are struggling medically. That is a different thing. But what's going on in the industry? People got laid off first. Okay, and 3-4 months people lost their jobs, and in December, late December or January, you got tremendous openings. So what does it means? Like there was a situation when the companies are thinking like they won't be able to produce the things and they won't be able to it's like sustain in market. So they actually ask their people to leave. Okay, and then when the market is building again, so they need to recover all their loss. So now they need actually the good candidates to work with them so that they can they can balance their loss. So now the good condition, what does it means, and what companies, what industries looking? So that we will discuss at the end of this presentation. Okay, so here in this segment of this project management, we are having risk assessment. And so risk assessment, what does it mean? What is risk? Anything which can harm, anything which can have negative impact on your project is basically the risk. Okay, so risk is calculated as the probability that harm from some sort of hazard or some sort of circumstances, that is the probability. Okay, so it must be less than 1, and then should be multiplied by the consequences, that is the relation which we use for calculating the risk. Okay, Consequences like likelihood, what are the chances of the thing will happen, and impact, how seriously it will impact us from the, it's like in the rating of 1 to 5. So that likelihood and impact both we do calculate in that terms. So that is the risk. So in a nutshell, you can say any condition, any circumstances which comes up with the probability of any sort of harm on the project, any sort of accident, any sort of delay. So that is the risk. Okay, it could be the financial, it could be the technical, it could be the environmental, it could be anything. Okay, depending upon the nature and the circumstances on the project. So how we do risk assessments? Risk assessments nowadays very common. Every recruiter wants that their students or their candidates, not students, their workers, they actually work on the risk assessments. They know how to deal with risk and how to calculate risk. So usually it's not part of the BTech curriculum. Some of the courses are having, some of them is not, but still it is the very much, you know, demand topic in the industry. Okay, so risk assessment should be, you know, you should understand risk assessment. You should do proper training if you can do in the risk assessment and management. There are various courses available, so there you can do, and you should work on. You should have an idea. For example, today we'll get a good idea of it. So there are 5 steps for the risk assessment. The first is identify the hazards. So what are the circumstances? What are the things? For example, you are working on your construction of your house. So for that, what are the hazards? So hazards could be like, as you are dealing with cement. Cement is a highly alkaline material. Okay, so maybe if it get contacts, if you got it with the contact of the cement, you could have some sort of skin problems. Okay, it can affect your body negatively. Or if you inhale cement, so it can cause some sort of lungs diseases. So the hazard is your cement, utilization of cement. You can't avoid it because it's you know, the very important part of your construction. So you should need to identify first for the risk assessment. So risk is, you know, the negative impact of cement on the human body. So that could be the risk. The second step is who might be harmed, decide, and how. So the whomsoever is the occupant on the site, or whomsoever, not occupant, I'll say, whomsoever is a worker, professionals, whomsoever is there on the site, which is standing or which is working nearby, say 5 meters of that cement work, where the cement work is going on. So that they can get affected negatively. So even though it's an engineer, even though it's a labor, it's a literate, illiterate, it's a, you know, master, bachelor, does not means, you know, okay, because the thing is, this is the material and you all are having a similar human body. So the alkaline material will definitely affect your body negatively. So the first is identification hazard. So you identified that cement is a hazardous material. So that can cause some sort of hazard. Decide who might be harmed. Whomsoever is working there can be harmed. Okay, and how? First, direct contact with the skin. Second, inhalation, if they can inhale. So there are 2 processes. The answer of the how is two different ways: direct contact or by inhaling. And the third is evaluate the risk and decide on precautions. So now you need to evaluate the risk. That is, that risk is for the whole period, or it's for some certain time, or how the things are going on. So yes, this is for few times where you are having the activity with respect to cement. Rest you don't have. So for that, what are the precautionary measures you can have? You can wear just a mask. Number 1, you can use personal protective equipments, like, you know, like your high visibility jacket or your shirts. It's like you need to cover your body fully. You should not get exposed with the cement, or whomsoever is working there with cement, they should have the gloves so that they can't get direct contact of the cement. So these are the precautionary things that you will evaluate, that what is the possibilities. For example, it's Indian culture sometimes, in, for example, the Rajasthani people. So various times we have a discussion on the personal protective equipment. Okay, contractor don't want to spend more on PPE instead of helmet. They don't want to, just like pay the things until they understand of their use. But even in Indian culture, it's like they are the things. Some things are there in our customs which is having the principles. For example, the normal traditional clothing for the Rajasthanis, those are having the pagdi. Okay, so that is actually act as a helmet. Okay, they are having the proper covering, the laborers, the Rajasthani laborers, they are having the proper covering, the kurta, pajama, dhoti and kurta. So that means that their body is fully covered. Okay, and they are using the white color stuff, white color clothes. So that means it is not having the black body radiation. So even though they are working in the heavy sun, still they won't they won't feel much heat as compared when some sort of different color stuff is there. So light, we use the high visibility jackets of light colors. Similarly, they are having the white color dressing sense. Then they are having some mojadi, which is having the strong toe. So which is not 100%, but some of, you can say, which is some of the extent, it is like your safety shoes. Safety shoes is having the different thing, but I'm just giving you a reference. It cannot be replaced safety shoes, but it is having some sort of preventive measure. So that is the regular thing in their dressing sense. I don't know why we miss, like why they converted themselves to something else, and that does not make sense. Okay, so that is their culture. So the risk, or say that sort of thing, was already there in their culture. So if they are using that, so definitely they are reducing the risk. But as we are, the much more scientific. So that's why we are following the PPE system, personal protective equipment system. So if you provide the proper safety jackets, proper boots, proper helmets, proper gloves, proper glasses, okay, then we find our person more safe. Okay, so that is the part of it. So here we use your, in the third segment, you actually evaluated the risk and you decided on the precautions, that what precautions you should take. Then you will find the significant findings. Whatever, when you put these things on the implementation phase and you implemented your thing, so what is your finding? Like, have you reduced your risk partially or fully, or it's of no use? So if it is full, it's like reduced for, say, after getting your assessment, you reduced your risk fully, then that is the best way. Then you can suggest to others. If it is, you mean, reduced by partially, means like half of the risk has been reduced. So in that, you can take the advice from others. And if it is not been done, then you should get training from others. So that is basically the risk assessment. We have proper formats for it in the industry, and usually we work like that. What is the prevention? Principles of prevention: avoid risk where possible. Okay, if you are a very less risk, then you can avoid it. Or for example, avoid the work which is having risk. But if you can't have the it's like circumstances that you can avoid the risk, then evaluate that what is the remaining risk. Okay, what is the total risk there? Control risk at source. Okay, like by proper management, you can control the risk at source. Adapt work with individuals. Whomsoever is working on that activity where that risk can arise, so you make them adaptable for the thing by providing some sort of solutions to it. Adapt to technical progress. Whatever technical things which has been provided to you, to your person, so you should become more adaptable to it and you should follow the instructions. Replace dangerous with non-dangerous substances. For example, you have some raw material which is dangerous, so try to replace it with some non-dangerous things. Okay, if it is not there, then do some special arrangements. For example, you can call some expert, the third person expert, okay, for that particular job. Sometimes we have that HSE engineer, health and safety engineer, on the side. So basically, he's responsible for all sort of preventive things or the means like HSE things. You should have a strong prevention policy. Every trade is having the prevention policies. Workers are aware of it or not, it's a matter of the awareness. But every company is basically having a prevention policy. You should always ask your manager. So you will you have a booklet in your site office or in your office. So that actually talks about the policy. During the induction, when you will join, they will get the copy which states that you have purposefully, or you have read all the points mentioned in policies and you are following it. So if you read that, so that is the huge book. Okay, priority to collective protective measures. You should provide priority to the collective protective measures. For example, if somebody is working at height, so there should be some sort of temporary structures where he can stand and who can work. So that could be there. And the final suggestion is to have training instructions. That is the most important thing. So if you will train your labor, train your workers, train your professionals, then definitely the chances of risk got reduced. So that is the principle of risk assessment and management, which is a very important part of your construction project management or the project management. Okay. Supply chain management, it's like you should have the proper suppliers. You should have a discipline or domain in which the one person should be always in the contact of the vendors, suppliers, so that whatever raw materials you are using, it should have the good qualities and you should get the things on on time. Okay, so there is a suggestion that you always use the local things. Okay, so that was the suggestion way before Modi ji has said local for local. So if this can help to build our national economy, then definitely you should use this suggestion. That your raw material should be there, which should be try to get the locally available materials. Try to utilize the locally available materials. Okay, so it will not only cost your not only save your cost, but also provide you assurance that whenever you will need it, you will get it. Because if it is locally available, so one vendor fails, then second, definitely your another vendor could be ready to provide the things. So in that segment, your supply chain will never fail. Okay, so that is the thing. Then we have the health and safety. So health and safety is just not for the civil engineers or mechanical engineers, it's for everybody. The health is like whomsoever is working under your guidance or in your team. So you should be responsible for your mental and physical health as well as your others. Means like here, as per the Indian standards, the health is defined in two segments: mental and your physical health. Physical health, it's like say some sort of injury or something like that. And mental, it's like you should have for example, you are working for 8 hours. So the 1 day working means 8 hours of working in any segment. If you are working more than it, so this is depending. It's like it shows about your management policy of your organization. But as per the Indian standards, as per the law, as per the labor law, the 1 day means 8 hours. That means 8 hours. And whatever you are working beyond it, it is counted as your core time. So the whomsoever is your owner, you need to be pay or compensate the amount to it. Okay, so that's the thing. So that is the health. like you should not have the pressure of the work, you should enjoy your work, and so that you will get your efficiency will increase and you will be proved as an asset for your organization. Safety is like whatever exercise you are doing, whatever work you are doing on the and as your say on your safety in your office or something like that, you should be you should not get some sort of harm, you should not get any sort of injury or something like that. So for that, if you are doing some sort of physical works, then you should use personal protective equipment. Some of them are shown on the screen: the helmet, your the glasses, safety glasses, your trousers, pants, but that is comfortable for similar type of trade, your boots. Okay, then you have your it seems like your headphones. So basically it's for noise. So if you are involved in some sort of factory or some sort of trade, there you have the noise in more decibels. So in that segment you should use that sort of stuff. Okay, that is your safety care. Then you have your mask. So due to the COVID, everybody got understand the importance of the mask. Okay, then you have high visibility safety jackets. So that safety jacket is having some sort of radium or some sort of material on it, so that whenever somebody flash a light on it, so it will blink. Okay, so that actually is that's how where the situation is like you are having the less illumination, the less lighting. So in that segment, if somebody flashes the light, so that light material, high visibility material, will provide the better visibility, and you can rescue or you can think about that person, and then you can do the healthy work. So these are the things. You have the hand gloves also in the same trade. Like you should use the hand gloves the proper when you are doing for some sort of say, for example, you are working on your laboratories. So when you are handling some sort of chemicals, so you need to use certain type of gloves. When you are doing some other work, so you need to take some different types of gloves. So basically, gloves could be there, or any sort of personal protective gadget, personal protective equipment could be taken into account as per the the trade in which you are involved in construction, in IT, or whatsoever is your domain, but it depends upon the thing. Okay, so that is basically the health and safety. And environment, it's like you should not work, work should not affect the overall environment. Okay, you should work in sustainable approach. You should work in such that so that you should not consume over resources. Okay, you should not. It's like if you buy something, that does not means you paid the value of it, because that is come up with some resources and that belongs to everybody. So it's like you need to use the resources in proper manner. Okay, so for example, I'm using this table on which my laptop, my machines are in place. So that table does not, I just paid for things like 7,000 rupees and I got this table. So this 7,000 rupees does not means that I have paid the things. I am just, having this stuff for my use, and I'm just providing few token money for it. Because think, somebody has grown a tree, then somebody has nurtured it, then somebody has cut it, then there was a it's like somebody who actually transferred that tree from the jungle or the forest to the factory. There somebody is chopping it down, then somebody provides a shape, then that thing comes to the market, then that is been displayed by some dealer, and then when I reach there and when I pay the money, so it does not mean that that pay is enough for all the chain, because it's a resource we all are working for it. So here it's like whatever your actions are, you can't buy everything, but you can't buy anything you actually owes for, or you can have it for sometimes. Okay, it's like you should have this thing in your mind. You should use it, okay, properly in proper manner, so that others can also use it. So that is basically the environment part of it. So if you are belongs to the civil engineering trade, So make sure that your raw materials should not do the pollutions and all that. If you are in the automobile or say in other sectors, so you should work like that. You should generate some sort of engines which is less pollutant or something like that. If you are from IT and CS, you should have your environment like where you are sitting, your office environment is something like that, that you should not have it should not provide you any ill effect on your health. So that's how environment is important. You can also work on sustainability. Sustainability is very much coined topic, and it's like the health, environment, your social, and your say economical. So when all these things come together, then the product will become sustainable product. So that is also the thing. So that is the health and safety and environment. So everybody is aware of it, and you must follow a policy on it. Okay. Now it's like the most important topic, like project management information system. Whatever we have spoken, whatever we have discussed, is basically can be used or can be understand with some sort of IT solution. That IT solution is your some softwares. Okay, so there are few softwares which will provide you the access for planning, scheduling, and say the flow of information. So we call that segment is basically project management information segment. And how does it actually affects the thing? Like whatever your vertical is saying, for example, whatever your senior manager is saying to the assistant manager, that is being passed to your the engineers, then assistant engineer, then workers, and also the whole thing. Actually, you can just using some sort of cloud-based system or some sort of computer-based system. So if somebody is providing the message, for example, you are getting the instructions in terms of your college grades, or for example, RTO is issuing your mark sheets. Okay, so they are having some sort of system. So they actually, so that mark sheet is like they is like that has been issued from RTO quota. Okay, you have given your exam in some college. Okay, then that copies is gathered and sent to some examination center. There you get the grades, the marks, and then that has been uploaded there. And that information system is allowing you to download your mark sheet from anywhere of your from anywhere your anywhere in the country. And the same the copy your computer your sorry the copy is also available for the college. Okay, they can use just a computer and download it. So basically you are having the information system. Same way in projects we are having various types of information system, in which there are two. Those are very famous. The first is your Microsoft project. Okay, Microsoft project is a project management system. Project management system where it's like where it is like you can have your you can schedule your whole things. You can schedule as per the time, as per the resource, the activity, and all that you can resource. You can schedule the things in. So that is the solution for it. So there you can download, you can track the projects. You will find that how your project is behaving. Okay, and it is ahead of the project, or it's it's feedback, what sort of arrangement you need to do, so that you can learn how to operate it, and then you can do it. Secondly, there is a software known as Primavera P6. This is also a project management information system, and this is basically project portfolio management system. So project portfolio is like when your company is working on various projects simultaneously. So there it's a 360-degree solution, in which you can schedule the whole project. You can find the estimation, and then you can do the things. So these types of software you can learn, and you can have the information that how to use it. In Primavera V6, it's like there is a you can talk, it's like you can straight away submit the schedules or your budgets or the cost estimations and all that, straight away from your PC to the in charge or your manager or something like that. So that is the 360-degree solution. So here, like this gentleman is doing the same thing which we can use. It's like here we have the activities, and then activities is been defined having some particular time and resources. Then there are various types of linkage. So like we have what is the say discipline, what is the basic uh, dependency. It's basically you broke down the whole project in different activities and work breakdown systems, and you make some sort of arrangements. For example, let's take example of that construction of your house. Okay, so it's like the first when you will schedule it, you will break down the whole house into different segments. For example, the construction of foundation, construction of first floor, construction of second floor. Then further you can divide. It's like the construction of structure or construction of your say say construction, let's say construction of also finishes and all that. So in that segment, what you can do, you can say, for example, your foundation, it's like excavation, first activity, placement of reinforcement, second activity, concreting, third activity, and refilling of earth is the fourth activity. So that actually comes up or contributes to a breakdown. So now you can calculate that how much time is being taken by individual activities and how much resource has been consumed, how much cost was there for the first activity, second. So that's how you make your project measurable in terms of resources, in terms of cost, in terms of anything. Okay, so that is basically the part of this Primavera Oracle system. So that is being provided by Oracle company, and Microsoft project is provided by the your Microsoft company. So you can learn it, you can work on it, and these types of softwares is demand of post-COVID situation with good, which is having good communication. You can maintain the information systems properly, and then you can get your actual versus plan. You will do various types of say analysis. There you can do various types of means like deviations. You can find deviations, you can run short-term programs, you can schedule your project. So this is the domain which is common for everybody, and it's like it is very useful for everyone. So guys, this is it. So here I'll stop, and I'll open the things for if you have any sort of questions. You can ask.
What slide is available?
So any participants have any queries, so kindly ask.
No, ma'am.
Okay, then that's a good thing. Thank you, sir. Here, our expert lecture has come to an end. We have a great session on our topic, project planning and management. I am grateful to our expert for his precious time. It has been quite great learning experience for all of us. I thank you all the participants throughout the country and abroad that has connected with us. For your benefit, PPTs are also provided on Google Classroom. Stay connected there. For vote of thanks, I would like to invite Professor Mahinder Sani sir, Coordinator of Civil Department. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Mahinder Sani sir, please welcome.
Yes, are you getting my voice, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Ms. Karishma ma'am. for giving opportunity to glorify our team. I am very grateful as a host institute coordinator to Rajasthan Technical University for providing a platform to enlighten us by such kind of events. I'm also very thankful to Dr. Lata Gidwani ma'am, expert lecture coordinator, RTU TechUp, for support and guidance for this event. I'm also thankful to the chairman sir, regional college, and our organizing team of this college for kind support. And I am also very thankful to today's speaker, Mr. Sandesh Saxena, for delivering very excellent lecture and enlighten us to about the project planning in Primavera software. Thank you very much, sir. I am very thankful to all registered participants as my colleagues, students, and friends. Around 500 participants have joined today and registered for this expert lecture. Very, very thankful to you for showing his enthusiasm in this talk. And the end of a story is new beginning for many others. On this notes, let's conclude a remark.
Thank you, sir. Also, I would like to announce the participants that e-certificates will be provided to their respective email addresses. Also, fill up the feedback forms sent to you on the chat box. Also, it is mandatory for all to fulfill the feedback forms to receive e-certificates within 7 days. Thank you for your time. Have a great day.